Hello there, Vlad here. Welcome to DIY Kit Challenge episode number 3. And we are just gonna pick off right where we left off last time. I'm working on the water decals to have a logo on my guitar's headstock. And as you can see, I printed a bunch of different sizes of it to see which one actually fits on the headstock. And yeah, basically I cut it out and then you put that cutout into water and it kind of comes off, and then you should be able to place it on the guitar. Except I'm not that good at that stuff, as you can tell, and you can also tell why you probably need to have a few backup prints. Luckily, my lovely wife decided to help once again, and you know what? She got it right the first time, so well done, Tarja, well done. As you can see, it blends really well with the headstock already, and the next step to make it even better and stay in place as well is to apply clear coat layers on the headstock, and that's exactly what I did. And that's where my stay at my mother-in-law's actually concluded, and all of the next steps were done at home. And obviously I had to start with sanding, just trying to level out the clear coat layers and start applying more of those next. Unfortunately, I don't have as fancy work conditions at my home as I had at my mother-in-law's, so I basically had to work everything at my terrace on the backyard. What I also did was using the black permanent marker and fix a few minor issues here and there where I kind of underneath the black paint you could see the pink as well, and that worked fairly well. And here you can see how the surface of the guitar looks after it's been sanded with 600 or 800 grit paper. I'm forgetting which one it was. And I'm also trying to be really careful not to sand into the paint itself and start removing paint while sanding, because that's something I wouldn't be able to fix later. So I'll have to leave in some of this orange peel you can see in the shot. I also got myself some proper wood oil and started applying that on the guitar neck. But I ended up only doing one run of that because the lacquer on the neck didn't really absorb as much of that oil as I was hoping for, so I decided to just leave it be. Then I basically proceeded to repeat the same process many times over, where I would spray some clear coats, sand them down and start applying new ones, and I think I repeated all of that 4 or 5 times. As you can tell, my conditions of spraying the clear coat layers weren't exactly ideal. Another challenge was the fact that sometimes it was plus 5 degrees Celsius outside, so what I would do would keep the guitar body inside for as long as I could and only quickly run it, hang it outside, spray the coat layers and then run back in with the guitar body so it stays as warm as possible. Here you can see how the guitar body looks like with all of its clear coat layers applied. And the next thing to do would be wet sanding. I have to say, spraying water and then sanding it with sandpaper felt weird at first, but I started noticing it got me really cool results without burning through the clear coat layers and starting to actually sand off some of the colors. I took turns sanding the guitar body and the headstock and went from 800 grit paper all the way up to 2000 grit wet sanding paper. And here you can see how the guitar body looked after 2000 grit sandpaper. If I had had more time, I would have gotten rid of all of those shiny spots, but unfortunately I was running out of time and I just had to move on with the project. Next step was proceeding to polishing the guitar body. I got my drill and all the things needed for that. I got myself a 2000 grit car polish. At first this felt a bit scary because I had no idea whether it's actually doing what it's supposed to do or whether I'm going to damage the whole finish. But after a while and wiping off first layers of this formula, whatever it is called, I noticed that it's actually working, the body was getting more shiny, and that got me really excited. Then I did the same thing with the headstock, and while I do like the end result, some of the lacquer kind of cracked just a little bit, maybe because I didn't give it enough time to dry, but it looks road worn now, so I'll live with that. Because of my time constraints, I didn't apply more than just one coat layer on the back of the guitar. and actually decided to sand the whole back of the guitar with a 2000 grit sandpaper. It feels incredibly smooth and nice to kind of just have in your lap, and it will age really well because it will collect all of the belt buckle things and stuff like that, like real life aging. It's going to look amazing in a couple of years. Alright, I'm at the final stage. It is time to put this together, do the setup, and give it a proper playtest. I can't believe I'm here. Polishing, I think it looks pretty good. It's shiny enough, and because of all of the little mistakes here and there, there's kind of this slightly road-worn feel, like it looks and feels like I've owned this guitar for a while. And yeah, the next thing is to put everything together. But I think I'm actually going to start with the neck, and because it's not attached yet, I can spend time actually filing the frets a little bit, or at least I have these kind of polishing rubbers I'm going to show you in a second. I think I'm going to just kind of polish those and make the fretboard look nice, and then it's time to put this little beast together and give it a proper try. This is very exciting. We're here, almost here at least. Something can still go wrong, but it's the less likely or somewhat unlikely Catpick Studios merch. Link in the description with a special code for everyone watching the Harley Benton DIY Kit challenge. Wow, I can't believe how much better this fretboard looks with just applying a little bit of this Tech fingerboard conditioner or Gobi Labs. It also smells nice. It smells somewhere between like lemon and citrus. A citrus fruit, let's put it that way. I think we're gonna do a second round. There's some sort of goop going on here at the very highest of frets. But I mean, the frets look better already, and the fingerboard suddenly has some dark color to it, which is really nice. We'll do a second round and dry it up. Oh yeah, this is looking very nice. The frets also seem to be a bit more shiny. These eraser things didn't really help with the fret sprout here, or like slightly sharp edges, but I don't have any fret files at my disposal right now. I need to go and buy a set and then work on them later, but it won't affect the playability of the guitar, so I can just move on with what I have right now. And while I'm here, I guess I can just start putting on the tuners. Simple as that, really. Alright, the neck is fairly assembled. I'll do like general cleaning later. And yeah, time to start putting the guitar body together next. Yay! Alright, the hardware is roughly in place minus the strap pins, which I'm going to add in just a second. And then I can start putting on the neck. Exciting! Alright, holding this as a fully assembled guitar for the first time. Looks cool. Actually, those kind of vintage white pickup rings don't look that bad. I might replace them at some point, but I'm in no rush. Oh yeah, exciting stuff. Yeah, gonna put together the wiring, or just, you know, attach these, try to figure out which one goes where, and then attaching the ground wire. Should I solder it? Maybe I should. Otherwise, I'm just gonna regret it. Well, looks like I was out of, what is it called, tin or something like that. So I'm not gonna solder this right now. Just gonna tape it and fix that later. That's the whole theme of this build. I think, well, we'll fix it later. We'll fix it in the post type of stuff. And yeah, the next step would be starting to actually set up this thing. Alrighty, this took a while, but here it is. I have put this thing together. Gotta say, it looks great. It feels great. Like, I like the fact that it resonates. There's so many little mistakes going on here, but that doesn't really matter because I'm not afraid to dent it. I'm not afraid to hit it. I'm not afraid to drop it. Not that you should do any of those things to your guitars, but you know, I think you get what I mean. And basically the only thing left to do now is to set this up properly and do the thing that I do here on the channel. Record a track with it, and we're gonna hear it now. And there you have it. That concludes my Harley Benton DIY Kit Challenge 22. I gotta say, I'm really happy with the results. I don't think this ends here. I think the next steps would be upgrading the electronics on this thing, maybe replacing the tuners if I'm able to find something. These feel a little bit kind of loose. There's a lot of kind of loose movement in them and things of that nature. And maybe even replacing the frets with the help of a professional luthier at some point. But for the money, this thing is cool. This was a fantastic learning experience for me as well, because I made so many mistakes and I'll know how to avoid them next time. So that's really cool. I could see myself building more of these DIY kits. Again, if you want to get yours, links in the description, and those are affiliate links, and by using them, it doesn't cost you anything extra, but helps to keep things running here in Catpic Studios land. If you got any questions, let me know in the comment section as well. And obviously, if you haven't subscribed yet and you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a like and hit the subscribe button. And I think it's time to wrap up. Thank you so much for watching. I shall see you next time.